G'day, I'm Mark Hoth and welcome to Swift Almanac, where we teach you the basics of Swift in 10 minutes or less. Today's lesson is inheritance. So let's have a look at inheritance in 10 minutes or less. Inheritance allows classes to use or inherit properties and methods from a class that they are a subclass of. So a base class is a class that does not inherit anything. So we'll create a class called vehicle, and it will have a current speed, which is a inferred float of 0.0, and it will have a description, which is a string, which is returning the string traveling at the current speed miles per hour. And then we'll have a function called make noise. It does nothing because an arbitrary vehicle does nothing. So we'll create an instance of the variable, let some vehicle equals vehicle, and we'll access the property description. And that will print out vehicle traveling at 0.0 miles per hour. Now, if we want to create a subclass of the vehicle, the subclass, then the general form is this, the class, the subclass name, and then the superclass that we're subclassing from, and then the definition. So it'll give me an error, but that's what it will look like in the generic form. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a vehicle called a bicycle. It's going to have this superclass of vehicle. So we're able to access the properties of current speed and description and the method make noise for this bicycle, but we are allowed to also add additional features, properties and methods to our bicycle class, so we're going to add the has a basket, and in our case it's going to have a default value of false, but we're going to create an instance of our bicycle. We're going to set the has basket value to be true. We're also going to set the current speed to be 15.0. So here we're accessing the inherited property current speed, and we're going to print out the inherited description string, and it's going to say bicycle traveling at 15 miles per hour. Now we can keep subclassing if we wish. There's no restriction. So bicycles come in multiple forms, and this one is going to be a tandem. The current number of passengers default will be 0. We'll create an instance of our tandem bicycle, and we can set the current number of passengers to be 1, which is accessing the property of tandem. We can set the current speed, which is accessing the property of the vehicle class that we're inheriting from, current speed, and we can also access the properties of the one step behind in the superclass of bicycle. So what this is showing is that you can subclass many times, and you can access the properties and methods of any superclass that forms part of the hierarchy for the class definition. In some cases, you may want to override if you don't want to inherit the functionality of the superclass, and you can override both methods and properties. So For instance, here we'll form a class called train, and its SuperClass is the vehicle, the first one that we created, and we're overriding the function make noise so that when we create our train and we run the method make noise, it prints out choo choo, which is the noise that a train will make, but not all other vehicles. So that's how overriding works, and you can also override properties. So here we'll create a car subclass of vehicle, and we'll give it a gear of 1, a property that's just belonging to the car class, but we'll override the description so that instead of saying it's traveling at X miles per hour, it will now say it's traveling at 20 miles per hour in gear 1, and as we increment the gears, not bar, car, it will update the text. Now, overriding is something that you should do not very often, or unless it's obvious, because when the superclass has decided what a property or function does, it's not really very good to be overriding its function. You're probably better off just creating another method with a similar name in order to do so. But the facility is there, but use it sparingly. In fact, if you don't want anyone to override your properties or methods, you can prevent that by using the final keyword, by placing final before the variable or the function. When the class is subclassed, you are unable to override on ground. You can see here that attempt to override property. This is not allowed by the compiler. So if you use the final keyword, then anytime that's subclassed, the subclass won't be able to change the feature or function, and in which case you'd have to provide a new property name or a new method. Well, that's it for inheritance. If you have any questions about the tutorial, then please leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter @SwiftAlmanac. Please subscribe to the channel, it's free, and check out our website at www.swiftalmanac.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.